all units proceed to your post assignments. All units proceed to your post assignments.
Welcome, Wolfnet. Hopefully y'all can hear us. Hopefully everything is working correctly. Welcome to Thursday Night Throwdown. It's going to be a little different tonight. We're going to basically be just messing around with stuff. We are going to be asking some questions, doing some terrain setups, doing some line of sight or rules questions, maybe run through a phase or two, just kind of just messing up, or not messing, well, probably messing up too. Probably doing a lot of that. There'll be a lot of messing around. We're going to just kind of have a good time tonight, take it easy. No real games being played, so to speak, but it'll last week we kind of had this idea of just trying to do a rules kind of session or this or that. So yeah, joined tonight by the one, the only Jeff Stone, as always.
Jeff Stone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, that is just deep and beautiful right there. Let's see if Senior Bovey can do the same thing, huh?
I am no match for following that up. It's just not possible. It's 2 minutes into the show and I'm a disappointment.
It is been a long time, Bovey, since you've been on the show. So welcome back to Thursday Night Throwdown. Big shout out. Hey, Bodai, I see you. I have the chat on the secondary monitor, so hopefully I don't miss anything. Not gonna lie. We're all gonna work through this together. So let's just go ahead and set some tones by first of all getting Senor Diablo out of here, and let's get
him replaced with.
Let's get Bovey's logo on here. Where's he at? Where's he at? There he is. All right, let's save it. Let's see what we got. Looking good now. There we go. There.
It's true. We never miss anything. We just don't always catch it right away.
All is right in the world, Bovey. So I think
I could be whoever tonight. It doesn't really bother me.
How? No, of course not. We are gonna do this right, hopefully. So, yeah, we got an overhead look here. We got I got some new camera angles here, so we obviously don't need that on tonight.
I was gonna say, Coach is already winning. He ain't even playing yet.
So
still rubbing it in from bunkers last week.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do like I said, we're gonna do a little maybe everybody learns something tonight. I think the guy's got a 250 set up here, correct, Matt? Hopefully everyone can hear us. I'm kind of testing out something new here, so should be able to hear Matt over there on his microphone and me over here on my microphone. So I think while we maybe go through and maybe get the first round of questions, I know that someone on the show has a question. And let's see. Ooh, okay. Let's see if I can. All right, let's save this picture. And let's go ahead and add the picture. Let's see. Am I on? Let's go overhead cam here. And this one comes from the one, the only, the Jeff Stone. You know him as Goober. And we're going to label this image as Goober. So, once I get your image up here, right, downloads? Where did I save the damn picture to? Recent documents, maybe? What? Where the hell does it save the picture to? Oh, all right. Downloads. I didn't go through the proper steps here. Sorry, just bear with me, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and find out what is going on with this image here, Goober.
Yeah. So we had our kind of weekly gaming group is I would say not trying to game the game, but they always come up with creative angles or different ways of looking at things. So I think last week when we played bunkers on the show, traditionally we had always played anytime you want to shoot the bunker, right? Not infiltrate it, but hey, I want to launch in, direct fire to it. We always played it. You had to be in the V of that icon, right? Kind of that opening. And that line would draw across the board. So that's where you always had to kind of get enough position in and then be able to draw a line of sight to it. And I believe the guy said, and I look back and I was pretty sure they were kind of right, we made a call last week where you can shoot the door from outside the V as long as you can draw a line of sight to the actual door, which is interesting on the 3-dimensional, right?
Right.
Where you can, that's easier to do. But for like the paper one, I'm like, well, how do you know which one? Because we've seen bunkers where, that opening goes right up to the level 1, and some have kind of an angled door. So it is very dependent on the bunker pattern you'll use. But again, the first big question was, can you actually attack the door from outside of that V opening?
I gotcha.
And if so, does this picture say positionally the VTOL it's outside of the V, but because of its height, it can draw a line straight down to the door from outside the V. So is that a legal attack?
Sure.
I don't know. Hopefully that gibberish made sense.
Let's see if I feel like I'm going to need some Microsoft Paint. We're gonna need to. Let's go in here and let's see. All right, so let's get rid of you.
It's kind of the rough concern that I had with it. I was like, if so, it almost opens up, depending on terrain, a little more exposure and it makes attacking the bunkers a little bit easier potentially.
So let's see if I can. Okay, so oh my gosh, where's my? Of course, now my damn mouse won't work. Okay, here we go. So technically, you don't need to be in the V, because even if you had a mech, say here, right?
Yep.
And it can measure from the center of its base, here.
Yeah.
As long as you can
part of the door.
As long as you can see the door. Now, hopefully everyone can see that. As long as you can see the door, you can shoot the door. The wedge portion of there is mainly for the hex to fit in. But if you can see the door, so in this instance, a VTOL at level 20, right? So this edge here is a level 1, and this edge here is a level 1. If you're above it, and maybe I can even try to see if I can recreate this with an actual model. Let's see if we can do that. There it goes.
Yeah, and really the call with the VTOL is obviously a little bit of overdoing it, right? At that height, there's not much I can't see down into.
There's really not. Yeah, there's really not a lot you're not going to be able to see. So
okay,
you should be fine. And again, I'm hoping, and again, nobody has 20 pegs on their VTOL. So let's see.
Unless somebody goes steals one of those old antennas, the old radio antennas, you just telescope it up.
Alright, so we're gonna go here. Let's make sure you can see the door here, and I'm gonna leave the headphones for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, because Tom, while Coach kind of chases that down, compared to the paper bunker, technically the wall on the side of the door, right, the V, is the same height as the bunker itself, where the 3D print that we're using technically has a shorter wall by the door, so in a way it exposes the door a bit more to side fire. So hence why the question kind of came up.
This is going to be one of those things that with a 3D bunker, I think you can visually see that you have line of sight. But with a paper bunker, you're going to struggle more to realize that you're up above it, seeing down it. But I mean, I agree. It's not like on the 3D bunkers that wall comes all the way to the edge.
Yeah. It's just, we were really, because I think bunkers gives a lot of people a lot more trouble than maybe it really needs to be, because there's just an innate fear of that scenario a bit. And a lot of my guys were under the impression like, well, you have to bring infantry. You have to. I'm like, no, you can attack it. And we started coming up with creative ways to get a little more attack at them. And we just, some good questions kind of came up about what really constitute the ability to attack it, right?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And I mean, the line of sight, being able to draw from it from 20 inches up is obviously different, because your mini generally isn't sitting 20 inches up, just like Coach is showing here in the picture.
Yeah, and obviously 20 is a bit much. Like you could just get to like even level 5 or 8, and you're going to be able to draw a better line than something sitting just 1 or 2 levels off, right? Even on a hill. So it just kind of creates taking VTOLs against bunkers. Maybe a tally, especially kind of later era where you've got some VTOLs that do some good damage curve. Maybe something for people to rethink bunkers about, VTOLs on their own, maybe a thing.
So I'm gonna go with that previous image. You're definitely able to see the door.
Okay.
So if you're
interesting.
If you're high enough with a VTOL, I would definitely label that as being able to shoot the door. So, on bunkers, could be valid.
Just some clarity. Yeah, because I think it's one of those things. It's not like we were doing it wrong. We just played it a certain way. I think with our group initially, because we assumed had to be within the V, and then just started thinking about it, and then with the mention you guys did last week, I'm like, wow. Nothing says that, a great Russo by finding out, oh, shit, I've been playing that wrong for a year. Well, that's okay. We all been doing it that way, so good stuff.
Do you guys want to do a terrain setup? Yep. And then us in the chat can maybe scenario. Let's go. Chat, which scenario should we do just kind of have the guys start doing terrain setup for? It was suggested bunkers, but we can do domination, or heck, we can go through the whole shebang and maybe just I don't know. What do you think?
The only thing Corey said, I think he was the first comment of the day, mentioned something about Overrun, and we had some Overrun questions come up as well last week at our shop too. One you don't normally see a lot, and potentially can cause a little havoc.
Okay. We can do first terrain setup for Overrun. So maybe we'll walk through that one.
And terrain setup is such a key part of games, and something that really takes some time to figure out and learn how you're going to do it, what you want to do, what your objectives are. I really think it's something that newer players don't realize the importance of terrain placement, because it is, I mean, you can win and lose a game with terrain really quick.
Yeah, I try to teach my new guys, when you roll off and you're choosing between first terrain placement or initiative, I was like, terrain every day, no matter what. Because you can lose that first. Not going first to like have initiative first turn, it's usually not going to lose you the game. But terrain, potentially could have a greater impact because it's there forever, right? It's kind of a permanent. So yeah, I always push guys get good with terrain, right? It'll be a game changer for you.
Yeah, no, it's a huge advantage, and I mean you can steal a couple objectives pretty quick in certain situations and certain scenarios just by winning the terrain battle. And but I'm in the same boat as you. I would always take terrain over initiative, especially on that first turn. Arguably little is going to happen on that first turn, so it doesn't matter to me if I've lost initiative on that turn.
Yeah.
The 3 what? Overrun.
Yeah, I think the only crazy first turn stuff I've seen is like domination, but even then, me going first doesn't. I'd rather move second, for that stuff. Moving first
No, that's
or having the other guy move first. It isn't, a big tide turner because generally there's too much firepower to try to get that fourth one right away unless somebody really makes some bad moves, on the defensive side. But other than that, you're not too much game changer.
Just to go over again in Overrun, so I've got set up. So there's an imaginary line that runs here, an imaginary line that runs here, and then one over there. So there's home zone for red player, A zone, B zone, home zone for blue player. You cannot score your own zone. You can defend it, but you cannot score it. If you have the most size, combined size in this zone, you get 1 point. Most combined size in this zone, you get 1 point. If you, as the red player, have the most size in your opponent's home edge, you get 2 points. So you have to defend your home and take over those 3. Blue player likewise has to take over those and go in here. So this is one where you kind of want to set up hiding points in each zone where if you have speed, if you have, it all depends on what kind of units you bring into the game. But generally, you want to be able to have a little bit of everything for this one, and be able to maneuver in and out quickly in order to maybe either you got to get back and protect your home zone, or you got to easily just kind of go in and out. So we're going to do some terrain setup for Overrun and see how, and we'll walk through it. Maybe everyone chat, commentators and myself, just kind of walk through and see how it goes. So,
couple quick questions, Coach, on Overrun that kind of came up, and I put stuff in, I think, the Wolfnet that it came up in our gaming group. So first one is VTOLs do not need to land to contribute to Overrun, correct? They can continue to fly and contribute?
No, in Overrun you need to be landed in order to contribute your size.
Okay.
That is something we are talking about modifying. But for right now, the way the rule is written, you do have to land in order to count your size.
So that's the one thing we were kind of commenting on, because when we compared that to some of the other, like a Domination and King of the Hill, where it said you need to be landed or dismounted to contribute, that exact verbiage isn't in the Overrun. So the assumption was that it didn't need to land.
Let's see. I am pretty sure. Well, see, that's the other thing is that if it's not in there, and of course this is Goolsby's kind of baby here. If it's not in there, then you probably don't. See, this is okay. So this is probably a typo on our side, where we're trying to keep all the rules equal across all scenarios. That way, people don't get confused.
Yep.
And I think the way I have always ruled it is you do need to be landed.
Okay.
I need to Zone, starting end zone, combined size. I believe it's under. Did we do? I'm trying to remember if we did a rule at the beginning. Contested. No. Because I thought we put in a rule where the contestation requires you to be grounded. I think it was just a general rule. But it
Yeah,
looks like
I know that.
that is left out as well. So good catch. We will definitely, because it is the same in every other one. Yeah, it definitely does not say that you have to be landed. Because in this way, you could, I mean, technically you could have mounted battle armor. Be
Well, that was the other
considered,
part of the
yeah,
question that came up is all the other ones say must be dismounted, where this one doesn't
right,
say that. So
right.
then by that implicit rule, then technically mounted battle armor would count, even though, yeah, I know it's one of those just for clarity purposes that allows less rules lawyering or contention, right?
Right,
Why we
right.
just need to add that as an addendum.
That's going to have to be an addendum in 3.0, which hopefully will be done by January. So
That's why your field medic infantry in your flatbed truck is huge in Overrun because it's 2 points. It is a weight 2 unit for 2 points. I'm not saying I've done it before, but I would do it every time.
Yeah.
let's see. Is there a point limit how many points to win? You have to get 4 points. So this isn't a cumulative game. You have to basically score 4 points in order to end the game. At the end of the game,
Yeah, it's like domination, right? Yeah.
yes, it's like domination. Let's see, and a tie on weight goes to, if there's a tie in the zone, nobody gets the zone. So whoever controlled it before, if there's a tie in the zone, it goes away. It is no more. So yeah, you can only control a zone if you have the most sides. So what do you guys think of terrain placement going on right now? Looks like, let's see, who set the big piece? Tommy set the big piece on the bottom right hand of your screen. So he's cutting off the edge of the map there, so you can't go skirting down there. Matt decided to make it a level 2. So it does give Tommy a place to hide, but it's in his own zone. Or, like Matt said, gives a place for him to hide if if and when he gets his units over there. So if Tommy is kind of spread out along the map, he spreads out into this general area, and Matt kind of sneaks his way in here and scores somebody in there. That definitely gives a level 2 hill for him to hide behind. So let's see if we can get a better.
Yeah.
Over here, there is a passageway through here. It's about a hex and a half wide. So there's there's a lot of cover, and you can cover 2 zones here. It's kind of splitting that zone. The rock in the middle is, I'm assuming, kind of a field of fire split. Yeah. And the same thing over in the blue corner, they've got a double hill over there too. And Tommy just plopping the
Airdropped.
Airdropping the what I'm assuming is the Turkina E cover.
A perch. His Turkina perch.
Which is not bad because it does. Oh, see, Matt just ruined his field of fire. I was gonna say he had a perfect cone of fire here. Matt just kind of split it, which is still, he's got 2 firing lanes. I should have my Get the Johnson out.
Mm.
How good is the Johnson?
Check them lanes.
I mean, you almost want those long lanes to allow yourself to take out your opponent's heavier weighted units, so you can, but you also need to be able to protect yours. So it's interesting how they've got it set up, where you're almost going to have to force a mini funnel down the middle. But I think I think it's by design. But having a lot of blocking terrain for this scenario also helps you hide those units as you try to steal those points along the edge.
Found a pointer stick. Yeah. Yeah, it's you don't want to. I would say when I'm setting up for overrun, you don't want to really have like wide open fields of fire unless your unit is just all long range and you're hoping to just come at me, bro, kind of a thing. Having layers of cover down the field really helps for, not only the fast movers, but also the slow movers. Because this point right here, that's what, about 16 inches away from where you can deploy. This one right here is, so you're about 14 inches away from there. So if you need to sprint, you need to sprint that 14 incher. Well, wow. Tommy's rocking the. So what happened? Tommy won the terrain roll, and so Tommy decided to go place terrain first. So Matt will get the first move initiative. Let's see. What's the chat got going on here? The VTOLs don't do much damage usually. They can do damage, but it would take time. Yes, correct, Chris. There aren't a whole lot of VTOLs that do a ton of damage. But I think in our last bunkers game that we played a couple of weeks ago, or that last week, whatever damage you can put onto it is just putting pressure on your opponent to either have to capture a point or infiltrate, or at least try to match your damage output. And I think it's one of those where in bunkers, if you win the race of putting damage on first, I think you're ahead of the game. So.
Yeah, I think, Coach, it's something you'll see probably, like a VTOL attacking a bunker is, you'll see some better effort at it in the later eras, right, where we have some higher damage VTOLs coming out, the Balak and, things like that. Especially, ones that can do equal damage out to long range, right, because, you're going to get that native -4. And thanks for adjusting that terrain, Corey. He was having a little OCD with overhang terrain because we nip him. He tries to get away with some stacked terrain at our local game shop, and I always give him shit. So he immediately saw that one and jumped all over it. So.
In Corey's defense, it's a pretty typical rule. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, yeah, right. It's like euchre, man. You always got to be trying, and it's only cheating if you get caught. So.
Zone control is unit size. Yes, zone control, Chris, is the combined unit size. So you will count up all of your units' size in a zone, and you'll compare it to your opponent's combined size in the same zone. Whoever has the highest number controls that zone. And for instance, this is Tommy's home zone here. And this is a terrible one. So he's hoping that because he's got a Turkina E here on the board. It looks like a crossbow. Yep. So his Turkina E is a size 4. So he's definitely gonna be able to hold this whole section right here. He's gonna hold that pretty well with just an assault command. My Yardstick, no.
We're going to put a counter on that. Will you?
Yeah. Do infantry being carried count? No, they do not. I mean, again, we're finding out a typo in Overrun where it does not say mounted or dismounted. I am trying to remember if that was a specific thing that it. I'm pretty sure that if you are mounted, you do not count. It's the VTOL that I'm wondering about. If you need to be landed, I'm fairly positive. And again, we will be kind of makes us look like we don't know what we're doing, but we will be making specifications going forward for 3.0 that will follow a blanket set of rules of, in order for your, a combined unit size will have its own ruling because we use it for King of the Hill, we use it for Overrun. That it'll have its own. You have to be grounded. There is talks of having VTOLs that are not grounded count as half. In fact, I think there's a anyway. It's been in discussions where VTOLs would count as just a half a point because I think a VTOL is much more lethal when it's in the air than landing. There's not much of a threat to a landed VTOL, but we will see. Let's see. Any good strategy or logic for terrain placement in this scenario? Like I said, I think staggering out and I think they did a good job. They've each got kind of. I mean, you want to think of terrain in this situation as like a waypoint. Yeah, go ahead.
Bounding cover.
Bounding cover.
Yeah, basically.
That's a good.
You've got cover in each zone, right? Where you can be in a zone and be covered, right, is ideal because, hey, I'm counting in the open, my weight counts, and I'm protected a bit from most fire angles, right? And there's some good spots, splattered around to be in a zone control area and not take too much fire, or at least give yourself partial cover while adding weight to that area, right?
And I think another good thing is splitting large or medium pieces of terrain across the line, across the imaginary line, where
so you can't shoot laterally across, right?
Well,
Cutting up lanes of fire.
But that is,
You see Tommy setting up his crossbow and protect his.
Yeah, they can't see the laser length. So like in this one right here, you can see where here's the, this is the line right here. And there's cover here on this side and cover here on this side. So I think it's very beneficial to have a piece like that where you can make a minor move and be in one zone, or the next turn make a small move and be in the next zone without too much trouble.
And I think, Coach, too, in this, and when you're in Overrun and you're on the line kind of equally half and half, you have to make a declaration of which zone you intend to contribute to.
Correct. You cannot be in both zones. You have to choose which zone you're in, and you have to do that.
Yeah, I forgot there was a certain stage. I think it was before maybe end of movement.
I believe it's at the end of that unit's movement, not the end of the overall movement.
Yep.
So you can't decide after you've moved everything else that, hey, I'm in this zone. I changed my mind. So they want you to declare that end of that unit's movement.
Yep. So it can't be like, oh, since you moved there, I'll contribute to this one, right? There's no after the fact weight shift.
Correct. Let's see. Sounds like the next rule said there will be added clarity for infantry. Yes. let's see, a lot of overlapping the terrain. Yeah, Corey, like I said, overlapping the terrain. I'm thinking I'm understanding you correct on the overrun line. That's usually how I like to do it. Brought this up on Discord, but would love to hear more thoughts on why or why not to use shielding movement for Alpha Strike 350. I really like the idea of a core, but really like the idea of it. I'm curious on the thoughts if you get a chance. Shielding movement. That is an optional rule that, how do I put this lightly, can be gained very easily. The one thing we've noticed with Alpha Strike 350 is the more people play it and the more people understand it, the more we find out that there are some rules that can be, what's the correct word?
Slightly taken advantage of.
Yes, slightly taken advantage of.
Well, and especially in more of a competitive scenario where there's some rule sets like special pilot abilities, formations work great in flavorful storyline events, right? You know, they fit, but in a competitive format, the tide can get turned very quickly as they can be, you know, kind of abused in a way, right? Where they get more value out of what you're charged for it.
Yeah, fast units already are very hard to hit in Alpha Strike 350. When manipulated, there you go. When you now all of a sudden give them, you know, somebody to hide behind or another piece of cover, because, and that's one things I love about Alpha Strike 350 is light and fast vehicles, mechs, VTOLs. They have a very, very important role in Alpha Strike 350. They are prime objective getters and this and that, and can swing the game into your favor if played correctly, but they're also very fragile. So, you know, the TMM that they have already make them very difficult to hit once they get hit, but if you add another layer of being able to shield them from, you know, it's kind of like the non-infantry cover rule. We actually changed in our rules. I don't know if it's caught up yet in the errata or whatever, but we actually changed it to where the infantry only get a +2 cover bonus. But if you miss by a margin of 2, you hit the covering unit as well. It's not just a miss. So it helps, especially with infantry, battle armor, and stuff like that, to shield them from, you know, just having the BA modifier and no TMM. But if you start extending that to dashers and butcher bird, you know, where you're getting a TMM of 6 or 7, or it's a lot like that, I think that can get very, like Corey said, manipulated. So,
and really the only way, like, kind of around that when we chatted about that a little bit, because you have to be in base to base to provide that cover, right? You know, if the shielding, and you know, it's like, okay, you do that, well then, okay, yeah, then we're bringing back artillery, you know, and that's how you counter that, and then, you know, then it's just chaos and bedlam, you know, at that point. So does it help the game in a competitive format? I don't know, because like I say, it unbalances. In order to reset the balance, you bring in something else we've kind of trimmed a little bit. So yeah, I think in normal games, scenario games, or more flavor games, yeah, run it. But I think in competitive, like you said, it can. I think it's more skewing than, you know, helping overall for, you know, not just competitiveness, but even gameplay enjoyment a bit. But I understand the reason why it's there, right? You know, is because, you know, like, let's say I got to protect Aiden Pride a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have some idiot in some, you know, no name, low Sibco board bad genealogy, protect Aiden. Yeah, let him be the +2 ad, because we got to keep Aiden on the field, right?
Yeah.
So there's logic behind it. But yeah, like you say, but when used the wrong way, it can, like you say, give a butcher bird a +7.
Yeah.
Which is all right. Good luck with that.
Definitely don't need butcher birds having a +7. That can get dangerous. So.
I guess for me, it's simply, it goes back to the game experience for both players, right? If you're going to have a situation where you take advantage of a rule that maybe your opponent isn't familiar with, or maybe your opponent doesn't completely understand because it is an optional rule, and you end up with a negative play experience, like, does it really matter if you won the game? It doesn't work for me when your opponent has a negative play experience just so you can do something that's maybe cool, or maybe cool to you.
Absolutely. Because if negative play experiences are going to happen during competitive play or even casual play, it makes an unforgiving evening. And you want them to come back to the table every time you guys compete. Like Tommy's eyeball on that dasher. A lot of crisscross in the field here.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of movement happening. It looks like with all the blocking terrain, your best shots are going to come cross field.
Yeah.
A lot of
some
faster,
weird angles. Yeah.
a lot of faster moving units this time too, which also helps. But no, taking advantage of their terrain placement is definitely in the tone early in this game.
I'll show you why at the end. Okay. You're gonna stay mounted? He's going to stay mounted. That's the idea.
So what I think I'll have, once we're done with the movement turn, I'll have the guys kind of just maybe go through and be like, what was our initial plan
I'm just thinking
of
that
how
as
everything's
a
set up?
standstill. I want to show you something I did in the turn. Is that right, Dash?
I gotta change
The
it.
dash is going to work. Yeah, I'm just double checking which one I have to do. Sure. Alright. So you would have attacked my dasher from the Kodiak. What would you have attacked with your vulture? Your stick. Your stick. So Tommy's got some fast movers out there. Initially he put out his that's my butcher bird. So his butcher bird's covered in these trees. I didn't like that. So I shifted up my Elvier and cut off that movement area. Hopefully get some shots on with the hovercraft. Dismounted my BA to cover that enemy contact as well. Tommy also brought his second fast mover, his dasher back here. And I shifted my Kodiak 2-2 this direction towards him so I can get some decent medium shots on him and hopefully pray for some hits to get him off my backfield. And I also moved up my first and second Dragonfly to reinforce anything else that was going to come down this left flank, which this Turkina is really going to seal that door with anything going that direction for me advancing. So I'm cutting off the center and then protecting the backfield here, which hopefully I can get rid of. Second Dragonfly is going to cover his butcher bird from across map direction from right to left flank. He's got a crossbow behind level 1 here, which is going to give you some trouble. This third fast mover dasher in the center. Hopefully I'll get shots off with either this right here or left Mad Dog, that I advance forward on the right flank with the 5e long range, or cover the crossbow. But I really wanted to, since his third fast mover, his dasher, had moved from my right flank to center, I wanted to cut that dasher off from this direction with my Mad Dog. So this field of fire I wanted to cut off. I wanted to support my units by shooting to the left flank, and I wanted to cut off the right flank. And hopefully we get some hits, but we got a lot of fast movers. Tommy, your thoughts?
Alright, so the reason why I jumped the butcher birds first was to draw on fire. It was to bring Matt in. Is to pull Matt into me.
Kill zone!
Is I don't know how to fucking do that. I don't know. Either way, it was to bring everything in. Matt likes to pull things in. The only way to get my butcher bird is to get up close. We have established this. The only way to kill a butcher bird is to get in a short range. To get that medium range is to go by chance, and the only person to get chance and to get lucky is coach. So Matt brought the Elvinger up. The reason why this piece right here is because the Elvinger can see this piece. He would see my dasher if Matt would have looked underneath this tree. I don't think he saw that. I saw that. That's why I moved the dasher back. So when Matt moved up, I started moving things over and to try. If I wanted to, I could have brought the dasher up to get behind the baby. the dragonfly. But I know if I would have gone behind the dragonfly, he would have brought his Kodiak up and killed me. And I probably wouldn't have had a shot. I probably would have had only one shot. I still probably would have lost that match because the dragonfly jumped. That being said, the only way I would have survived was possibly being in partial cover and sprinting. That being said, I pulled Matt's Kodiak away from his cover, knowing that my Turkina was also away from cover, allowing me some long-range shots.
Partial.
Also, I came away so I could try to kill some stuff on the edge to try to open up the area that Matt blocked off. Initially, Matt did a really good job of cutting off my corridor by placing this piece in here, right here. I originally liked the idea of having this one piece being able to block off my having 3 areas of to being able to hold 3 positions with one piece. And then having another piece, so 2 pieces, I was able to have cover for all 4 quadrants.
So, assuming everything lived, I think it would be a 1-to-1 game right now. I don't think either side has a size advantage. Obviously, Tommy would have scored this zone, which is as close to where Matt would have scored this zone. There is a dasher back behind in Matt's zone, but because that Kodiak is a size 4, that dasher is not doing much to prevent controlling that zone. So, question was, how many units do people like to run with Overrun? I hear Diablo say 7 is his minimum.
Average people like using about 9.
10 is max.
10 is your max. I would say it depends on your list. I've seen this. I've seen Overrun run with 4 or 5, and you usually have some pretty heavy, long-range damage dealers with low skill. I've seen it run with 10, and you sprinkle battle armor and transports and dashers and just fast movers all over the place. I would say 7 is a pretty good starting point. I
I
wouldn't.
think it comes down to play style, right? Really, how are you trying to play it? Because there's pros and cons to smaller numbers, higher powered units, but then every loss is more cataclysmic. Where you have something with a higher count allows you to kind of maybe lose a unit or two and not so much like getting your Achilles heel cut, right?
Right, right, very, very much so. It's a delicate balance with Overrun. Is can you afford to lose? What happens if you lose 2 pieces in the first? Because crazy things happen. If you lose a dasher in the first round, or your transport that didn't dismount gets wiped off the board, well, okay, then you got to shift your tactics. I think that's where having at least 7 units does come in handy, where you can still spread yourself out enough. But again, it really does come down to the pieces you're bringing. What is your strategy at Overrun? Are you looking to be? And I've said this a lot in almost every Alpha Strike game. You can pretty much tell if you're on defense or if you're on offense in the first turn. Like I said, you'll feel which side you're on right at the end of the first round.
Offense.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good start to an Overrun turn.
I feel that it all depends on what unit you bring to the tournament, or what unit you bring as a whole as your 350. Is your 350 list made to have an Overrun list?
Yeah, you don't want to just cobble together. You don't want to just go in and be like, oh, I'm just going to have all my fast units for my Overrun list. Or, I mean, this is where list preparation comes in very handy. I'll be like, okay, if Overrun does get picked, okay, I want these 3. Can I sprinkle in these 2, and then what else am I going to have to fill out my 250s?
I was not ready for Overrun. And thinking about my side of defensively, my units that are faster, a little bit more armor structure of 6 to 7 points that they can take. Tommies are in the front field looking at 2 to 3 points of damage being able to take, so his long range damage from his heavy hitters are really going to have to help his front runners. I think if they're. See why your crossbow's heavy. No, he doesn't do long range. You can still shoot me.
Corey does bring up a good point. Indirect fire is very beneficial in Overrun. Just in this situation right here, if Tommy, say his Turkina had a lot of indirect fire, it turns this Kodiak into kind of a nice little target. Not necessarily artillery, but just indirect fire from a unit that can hide, especially when you can hide an assault mech in your back home edge, and it's doing its job. It's protecting its zone, but it's also able to deliver damage to help out the whole group. So Overrun is definitely a scenario that I would say favors a well-rounded indirect fire list. So
Don't forget to utilize your fields of fire by each unit. This unit can fire this direction. It gives the full field advantage depending on its loadout distance.
yeah, it gets a little tricky when units get behind that Kodiak and it's not able to fire at it. It's still technically protecting the area, but you would really like to put some damage into it as well.
Yeah, kind of sticking with that indirect fire tactic. The scary thing is depending on your list availability and how you set terrain, if you can create a little hidden terrain, you could, you look at points, that Turkina is probably north of 60, right? In that same vein, I could plop a couple of 30-point heavy LRM carriers hidden in my home zone, tossing 10 dice indirectly. But then I've got size 8 in my home zone for the same points. There's pros and cons. There's ways to do stuff, but there's also obviously there's counters to everything, depending, and you have to give up a spotting unit a bit for that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to go into stuff, have a game plan, have purpose-built units with stuff like that, and yeah, potentially you could catch a lot of people off guard with some of that. Like, wait a minute, that anchor sitting in your home base is throwing 10 dice between those two heavy LRMs for the same points of Turkina that generally is a little more exposed. But obviously you're just sitting there, right? They're stuck there, basically the game, kind of doing that. But I don't know, points wise, it's one of those interesting, which one's better? Tastes great, less filling, right? It depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and again, the problem is you're not going to be able to move out into this zone or this zone very well. So, if it goes to time and your opponent has clearly controlled these zones for they're going to win 2-0. So
yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's it all depends on how it's going and what. Because obviously, like with stuff like that, only moving 4 inches, you're a little bit limited with, okay, that's 60 points. That's really just never coming out of that zone, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah, pros and cons.
Pros and cons. All right, should we set up?
So for me,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so for me, I mean, I understand the anchor piece in your back line, but if I'm playing this scenario, the thing I don't want to see my opponent have is something like a Victor 9B or the Guillotine, that 440 TMM2 heavy unit that's only like mid-30s in points.
Oh,
because
great units.
They're getting good value, they're getting a ton of weight out of it. Those sneaky things that you're not sure if it's a size 2 or a size 3, and they always end up being a size 3. That's what I don't want my opponent to have in this.
They're always a size bigger than what you thought they were, right?
Right. The linebackers, those units that are just, they're going to give them that extra 1 or 2 points of size each turn, and that's what I'd be more afraid of than having that big, 60-point unit protecting my back end here.
Yeah,
So
I did one where I played go ahead, Tommy.
Sneaky guy. So the crossbow.
Yeah, because he's heavy.
TMM, size 3, skill 3 at 50 points. So.
Yep, that is exactly the type of unit I'm talking about that I don't want my opponent to have when I play this scenario.
And then on top of it, it has overheat 3. So that's the one thing that scares people. The overheat 3 is what's going to catch everybody off guard. And I've already caught people off guard with that overheat 3.
For 1 turn before it comes slow.
Well, that's going to go slow, but I'm not going to use it until 5 seconds before the match is done. So, and then on top of it, it has melee. Alright, let's go. What match next?
I think I saw Hold the Line in the chat, so we'll take a quick little break from check out Harry's Games and Miniatures.
Where do you get your supplies?
Definitely go check out Harry's Games and Miniatures for all your Battletech needs.
I haven't been on the show a lot, but it seems like every time I'm on here, I just got an Ares package as of recently. So I can't really. I got one yesterday, so I can't really say anything. But no, it's every time I come on, I'm either just getting something or just ordered something from them. Yeah. So it's perfect promotion.
I think he just needs to start like a monthly subscription just to get your fix in, where it's Force Pack of the Month, kind of like a Jelly of the Month club. We'll just send you whatever's hot then oh
you $10 a month gets you like what are those
yep. You
bespoke
get
packages. He just sends you a collection of stuff every
random
month.
stuff. You got like some Wolfnet dice and a blind booster or something. Like, oh baby, what's he sending me now? Oh, that'd be awesome. We'll have to talk to him. If he's coming to KSAG, we got to work on some architecture.
The scary thing is most of us are addicted enough that we would sign up for like a $50 like
Heck yeah.
loot box every month.
So you're telling me for $25 a month, Jeff, Derek will ship me a mystery box of Battletech stuff. Okay, take my money.
Is there an upgrade package? Can I get to
Oh
$50
yeah,
a month?
exactly.
75?
How do I double up on that?
Absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna be on there like Gamblers Anonymous, man. We're gonna have Aries Anonymous.
Then you got to have two because I want to know if everybody's getting the same thing as me or if somebody got something different. So I got to have two.
As soon as your buddy who gets a package got something better than you, be like, oh shit, I need the triple package. The hell with that.
Yeah.
Matrix. So tonight we're just kind of messing around. We're actually kind of walking through some scenarios, answering any questions you have about 350 or Alpha Strike in general or Wolfnet in general. We just went over the Overrun scenario. Kind of walked through some terrain placements that would be beneficial for Overrun, and then played out the first movement turn just to kind of give you an idea of how different people see tactics and game setup and stuff like that. So, it's Dave on.
Oh, he's being a sneaky.
It's Otto. Okay, all right. So, we're not playing the game all the way through. We're just it's kind of a little messing around. Maybe for new players or even experienced players to kind of get an idea of seeing it from a different person's vantage point and stuff like that. So.
We're raising the Wolfnet 350 IQ.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, Corey's got a great question, but he should already know the answer to this. He asked for the last scenario, how often does the back end ever really get taken? Corey, go ask your mom. That's what you got to do. Hey, I'm sorry. With that mic drop, I'm out.
And comments, questions, concerns can be sent
to Valhalla Club at
Club.
Gmail.
Yeah, if you don't like the responses.
How you would, to tell you the truth, you'd be surprised how often the back one usually gets taken, but you don't control the middle too. That has been not all the time, but I will find myself where you're either in desperation mode or you're able to clear out one of the zones, but have that lucky guy in the back, and you can score 2 or 3 points. I don't think I've ever gotten all 4 on Overrun. I can't.
It's a tough one.
It
definitely is a tough. Yeah.
It's definitely a tough scenario. So.
It's kind of like bunkers. You never really seem to hit 4, except for in those rare kind of monumental games that everything just goes perfect for you.
Yeah, when everything goes well, then it's, all of a sudden you're looking at like, oh crap, I'm gonna get all 4 objectives here. So this is
oh shit, this is gonna happen.
So for those of you who are new, this is Hold the Line. Hold the Line has 3 1-inch 1-inch tokens placed inside the 8-inch mark. So normally I have dots on all mine that mark the center of an 8-inch. So this is 8 inches this way, 8 inches to the edge of the map. The token sits in the center of the 8-inch line this way, But this way is the edge is at 8 inches. So the reason for that is that an assault mech that moves 6 inches can fully encompass or fully cover the 1-inch token on turn 1 from their deployment itself. So they're placed at 8 inches, center of the board, and then 8 inches from the other side. So in this scenario, on the outsides, this token and this token are worth 1 point. The center token is worth 2 points. Now, in order to take a token, the opposing mech simply needs to overlap any portion. So any portion of this token, if it's overlapping and it's alive during the end phase, it will destroy that token and earn the correct amount of objective points it's worth. Now, right away, a very good way to eliminate that is to cover the whole thing with your base. 100%. They cannot overlap a token if your base is overlapping that token. So this turns into kind of a pillbox, if you want to, or this turns into I'm going to play on your side of the map and take a risk, and try to take out your quote-unquote protectors, as we like to say. And then, it's it can be you're going to end up playing on your opponent's side of the map pretty quick if you want to try to get your opponent. Now,
Is that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I see that triple stack that Matt's doing. Between the two of them they're putting together there.
Yeah.
That is one of those that says if you have vehicles, F you. That is a great setup.
The level 3 hill is definitely not friendly to vehicles. All right.
Yeah, details maybe, but there ain't nothing track getting up there anytime soon.
My VTOL is loving that spot. That token on top there, that looks like a track to me.
Ryan Hansen in chat asked if an oat can be on a level 3 hill. For most games, you can put oats on raised terrain. The only exception is bunkers. I don't know, Coach, if you want to explain that one, where you have to have a little bit of a step and entry point into the bunker anytime you raise it.
Sure. In bunkers, and this is really the only, first of all, OATs can only be placed on top of hills. They cannot be placed on top of buildings, can't be placed on any type of terrain, only flat surface hills. And hills are the only things that are allowed to be stacked on top of each other. You can put buildings on hills, but you can't put a building on a building. So, as long, in all other scenarios, as long as the OAT is not overlapping the edge of the hill, you can put the OAT on top of it. The only difference is in bunkers. That is legal because that is traversable terrain. Yes. Sorry. So with bunkers, we call it the staircase rule, where you need to have 2 inches in front of the wedge or in the surrounding areas to where vehicles are allowed to get to the wedge. And they're allowed to be up to the door and then have space to drop infantry out. So, for instance, let's go to red can here. I'll show you a instance of the staircase rule. So, for instance, this here would be an illegal placement of the bunker template. You do not have 2 inches from the edge. Now you'll notice you have 2 inches over here and here and here, but you can't get a
vehicle, through here, nor can, a vehicle can go here, but they can't dismount their transport. So the staircase rule basically says that you have to have 2 inches from the edge in order for a vehicle to move here and drop transports. So that's basically how that works. Thank you, Matt. So hopefully that solved or answered the question. Can an OIP? Yes. Oh, minimum movement rule. Can of worms. What's the question on the minimum movement rule?
So if I remember, Corey brought this up in our this came up at a tournament in when we did the Michigan GT and Topo was there, and this is one where I think we sent it to Andrew, and Andrew was a bit tossed up where if something doesn't have the ability to move its normal move, it always can move at least an inch no matter terrain.
Correct.
And yeah, yep.
It does. In the rules, the way it is stated, you are able to move 1 inch regardless of terrain.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with it, but you are allowed to move 1 inch as long as your unit is capable of making, it's raw stat line. So, a vehicle can't scale 2 inches of a hill as a minimum movement. It can scale one elevation.
Yeah, because like something like think a Mars assault vehicle only moves 4 inches. Technically, you could never go up a hill, but with the understanding of minimum movement, it can go up at least 1 hill in an inch.
Correct. Ryan says, maybe I'm misunderstanding the rulebook entry on page 19. Objective area templates may only be stacked on a level 2 hill, no higher.
I'm cracking open terrain now.
I am doing that too. Now remember, I wrote these rules a long time ago, so objective area templates may only be stacked on a level 2 hill, no higher.
Errata. Yeah. Three. This is we're testing 3.x rules tonight, right? Is that?
Objective area templates may only be stacked on a level 2 hill, no higher. That is a rule that makes me go,
That is page 19. That is correct. Yeah. That's right before the old staircase rule we were just talking about. Look at that.
That's because you can't.
I wonder why.
You can't go up more than 2 levels for a vehicle in a turn.
Yeah, is that implying that the from ground to that can't be more than 2, but it could be on a level 3, just not on a 2 separator?
In the book that you can't go up a certain amount of levels for a vehicle.
Objective area templates may only be stacked
Anyways,
on a level 2 hill, no higher. That is interesting. I'm going to say that there is a reason that we wrote that.
I just said there's a hard rule in the game that vehicles can't go up more than 2 levels in a certain turn. So a vehicle can't go up more than 2 levels in 1 turn.
Right.
So it can only go up 2 levels in 1 turn. So it can't go up 3 levels in 1 turn. I will if we're going to have to change it.
I wonder if that's what that means. Objective area templates may only be stacked on
So
level 2.
we were probably thinking, since we want it to be accessible by all units, we were probably saying you want to be accessible by all units in one turn. Which is bullshit. Any unit can go up there.
I'm wondering if that was put in place for like if, because like all my terrain I do in 1 inch increments, but I know some people have level 2, like the whole hill is just a level 2 hill. Oh. You know what I mean?
You can't.
It's not.
You can't put an objective onto a level 3 terrain piece. Only up to
Correct. Only a level 2 terrain piece.
Somebody messed up something on the chat. Damn it.
That's interesting. I'm gonna pause for a second, and I'll be right back.
It probably also has something to do with being able to transverse up 3 straight levels in anything. So if you had like if everything was lined up as one cliff edge, then you can't go up 3 straight levels.
Yeah,
Right.
a mech can go up two straight, where a vehicle can only do one at a time, but I think only 2 cumulative. So I think it is to kind of like what Tommy was getting after is it at least remains like in one turn if you have the inches for it, you can get to the objective point from ground level, where if it was up a third, vehicles would have to stop on the tier before. But yeah, if it was just like a straight ground and 3 levels high, mechs can't even do that, right? You know, because they can go up 2 sheer levels in one movement, but not 3, right? Because then technically almost only VTOLs that get up there or jumping units, right?
Well, because I think of something like the Mars map that Andrew has that cylindrical terrain that, I mean, you could put it on top of there and only jump units could technically get to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a level 3 piece of terrain all by itself. There's just no way to get up to it. So, and granted, the number of terrain pieces that are very small, but it still prevents anyone from accessing it.
Doesn't say I can't. Let's see what Coach says. And then he'll say no, and I'll move it. We'll see if I piss Coach off or not. Hey, John. No.
Yeah, if you're worried about getting your vehicles up there, just
you can only stack hills and
tanks.
the hills. No, it has to be on the flat surface of the hill. You can't. Come on, man. Come on. We're trying to teach people how to play the game correctly.
We already screwed it up one time. We don't want to screw it up again.
See, I'm not seeing anything where it prohibits vehicles from, like, they can only go up 1 elevation per elevation change, but it doesn't mean they can't go, up a hill.
Oh, there's not like a two elevations in one turn. I know they can do like the 1 elevation at a time, right? They can't go up 2 at a time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if there isn't a cumulative limit on them, then yeah, maybe it's the good question is maybe what the intent was then.
As long as I don't see anything that is limiting stacking. We'll see what we got here. No, it doesn't look like anything there. That is interesting. Note taken. Why is that in there? I mean, I could see where maybe it's in there because it's a dick move, just like I'm going to take a 5-level hill and put an OAT on top of it, and your opponent has vehicles in it, and it's because it's 4 inches per elevation.
There is a Mario rule.
There is a
Well, he needs some whatchamacallit, diversity too.
yeah.
Everybody needs some hardship.
Yeah, it's just they can't do anything singularly over an inch, but there's
Right.
no cumulative inch limit. Yeah, from a terrain. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just written as it can't be on 2 levels high with no next level approach,
that's
right?
Kind
like a
of
step.
that's kind of what I'm thinking is I think it's
Yeah.
just worded badly.
Yeah, it can't be like a level 2 column. It needs a step,
It
and as long as
can't-
it has a step, you can go.
Right. It can't be prohibited from ground unit movement.
Yeah. Same reason we can't put like objectives in woods, right? Because it would prohibit wheeled and hover
Correct.
and VTOLs
Yep.
from landing in it, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. Just like that. So yeah, because
just might need some clarity on it then. Yeah, a little language. Look at that, man. We are tuning the game, tuning the rules.
getting there. That's what this whole thing's about. We never said it was perfect, and we're always trying to make it better. So. Let's see. Did we miss any good? You just beating up on Corey. I see. Yeah. All right. Mario had 1 mech on his list the one time I played him. Yeah. Oh, like you said, he's stepping out of his bounds. He's trying. I always tell players, I says, try to play a list that you wouldn't normally play, but also don't abandon your identity of units that you like to play.
I did. Look what I got, man. I lost all my matches.
But I think that will make you a better player.
I did.
You know, once you go back to like Mario. I think Mario tried to get away from his vehicle list, which is he loves his vehicles. And I think he took like an all mech list one time, and he definitely didn't like it. I'm pretty sure he didn't like it, but I think it did give him some insight on not only how to play his vehicle list better, but how to recognize what his opponents are going to be doing as well. The last one between the 2 OATs. I'm assuming you're talking about this one. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's one I kind of responded a little bit in chat to. Is it kind of breaks up, like if you have somebody sitting on the middle oat to guard up and down the line, it kind of provides cover for me to sneak in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so hold the line, and it is funny. Hold the line usually ends up with the killing field right here in the middle. Everyone is using their terrain to put cover on their spots, and it usually ends up into kind of like a World War I no man's land in the center there, and it's always funny. It tends to be round 2 or 3, usually round 3 when everyone's like, okay, I have to walk out there. Let's see how this is gonna go.
Both of these scenarios, hold the line and overrun that we've gone over, have kind of that MechWarrior Online NASCAR feel to them. Sometimes you get players who just work their way around one side, trying to take advantage of terrain placement, trying to take advantage of getting your units, to the other person's side as efficiently as possible while utilizing cover. And so I think you can tend to see that happen with some of these. But this is one that you either have to decide really quickly if you're going to play offense or defense.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do with Hold the Line is, and I think, let's go with Tommy's list here. I love to utilize my battle armor as my initial point cover people. They're cheap, they're low profile, they are, they get the +1 for battle armor. Stealth helps, and also, if you jump, for that first initial round, you can cover your bases, make sure that they're not going to be taken in turn one, and then you can let your core group kind of figure out what your opponent's all about. What are they going to play offense? They going to play defense? How do you want to handle the situation without a whole lot of damage or resources in your list being taken up? So I usually recommend any hold the line scenario or list. That's kind of my go-to for me, is to have battle armor and infantry, or just cheap units. Even I've gone so far as my 2 VTOLs will. I'll fake them out and I'll land my VTOLs on top of them. just to kind of shake things up a little bit. So. Mark the spiders in here.
I've got one. It's not a question that's came up in chat, but it's one that I've kind of asked myself. It's kind of like why we don't see a lot of protos. Protos are difficult to come out there, so maybe it's that's a part B to my question. But my one is not only do we not see protos and why, but Wiggies, wing and ground effect vehicles.
Oh.
They seem like they move well. They can do infantry transport, most of them. So there are some high attack ones, but they're interesting, right? They're kind of an amalgamation between a VTOL and a hovercraft, and there's some weird dynamics to it. So I guess for you guys that are playing, why don't you run Wiggies and Protomechs?
I'll start with Protomechs first, and I'll be honest, I just don't like them.
Valid.
Right. So we do have in place in the Army construction rules that if you're going to take Protomechs, you have to have 5 Protomechs and you have to play 5 Protomechs.
Yeah. You can't do partials. Like if you
right.
field your 250, you have to field all like 5 Protomechs too. Then, right?
Correct. And each one does count as a unit in your unit cap. There's some really good Protomechs out there, and there's some really bad Protomechs out there. There's not really a middle of the road, like, if you look at them, and then you look at a battle armor squad, and you're like, well, why wouldn't I just take that?
Yeah.
Now there is some trickery you can do with Protomechs. I'm not 100% sure if the errata stayed where the point has to move as one. I know that used to be the rule, where if you were going to move the Protomechs, you had to move all 5 of them. They moved as one unit, but they moved as individual pieces.
That's still the rule.
That is still the rule. Okay, so the trickery comes that you can surround a mech that hasn't moved yet, and therefore, if they don't have jump jets, that mech cannot get its TMM because it's not able to move a full inch. But to do that is extremely hard. It's happened to me and it sucked because I was like, they're not easy to hit, but they don't do a lot of damage. They are able to do, if I remember correctly, an anti-mech attack, which is nice.
Oh shit.
There
you go, Tom.
There's that darn Protomech.
Get on.
Anti-infantry. Oh, it's gotta have the anti-mech attack, so I don't know if a whole lot of maybe somebody with MUL can check, but it just seems like not a valuable waste. It seems like a waste of points to me when it comes to Protomechs.
The fact you're forced to 5, it does hamper like your list totals, how you run stuff. You can't just split them up. Where like with battle armor, I can spend the same amount of points generally, get the same damage value, same structure value, but I can take onesies and twosies, right? Versus taking a 5-pack where potentially based on points, I mean, in order to take 5 protos, I'm spending 50 to 70 points sometimes.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a big investment.
It's a big investment. Now, I will say that it's a cheap way to get 5 units on the board. Because you have to shoot. You shoot at a battle armor squad. It takes all 5 members out. Each Protomech is an individual unit. So if you're looking to,
I think it's that cheap.
A lot of split fire, right? It's harder to take those down than 5 squads of battle armor.
Yes.
In a way.
If you want to frustrate somebody who brought some like a lot of firepower, and you're like, all right, well, good luck rolling 7 dice at that one Protomech, or you can take the chance to split your fire, which unless it's a really really good number, I generally don't like to split my fire.
Plus, you get base-to-base castle.
That's what I was talking about. You can get surrounded by them, and then you're kind of you can't shoot at them because you're base to base.
You only hit one.
Yeah. Plus, the protos get natural misses, like when you're shooting at them too, don't you? Like.
You only move 16 because that guy
Oh,
has
yeah.
X-Men.
The thing is, there's such a niche unit, and then you got to have, like you said, 50 to 70 points of them in your 350 for maybe using them in 1 or 2 scenarios as a specialty unit. It's hard to find room to fit them in, what they're useful for, and you better know how to use them and what you're going to do with them before you can put them in your list, because it's just too many points to just throw into a gimmick.
Yeah, you get like a +1 for being a Protomech. So you get like a battle armor bonus as a Protomech, but it's just a +1. So, yeah, it's a tough one. So,
There are some Protomechs that have really good movement, like really good, and that is also the reason why we had to put in the rule of 2 on Protomechs, because I think the Sirens. Sirens move like 16 inches or something like that.
14.
Yeah, there's a.
So if you had 5 of them running around
that do 12, yeah, that's crazy, right?
It would be pretty scary. I tell you what, I will make a list next week with Protomechs, and we will give it a go.
Nice.
Ready to talk about this?
Yeah. Hold on. There was one other question you had, Stone. Protomechs and what? Oh, Wiggies. We'll talk about Wiggies when we set up the next
we'll come back. Oh, but it's the Cicerops do 18 inches. Is the Cicerops? Yeah, is the one you're talking about.
There
Crazy.
you go. Yeah, 18 inches. That's if you had 5 of them. That's not good.
Good luck with that.
So prior to Faction and Era becoming a thing, I played Brian's son Sam in bunkers. He ran 5 Protomechs, and I know they were all carrying X-Mech battle armor. I think a couple of them were carrying Marauders, which is funny because the model for a Marauder is actually bigger than the Protomech. But he absolutely annihilated me in like 2.5 turns, because I mean he could move those things so fast, drop the battle armor, and move on. But yeah, that was part of the reason for some of the rule changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omnis can carry Protomechs too, can't they?
2 of them. So it gets complicated where you have to try and move 5 Protomechs with 2 Omni Dashers at 30 inches apiece. That's one is here.
Well, these are the only 2 microphones picking it
I
up.
can hear myself.
Okay. Yeah. Screw it. I'll play some Protos next week.
Just how do you clarify moving 3 Omni-Mechs with up to 5 Protomechs at one time? You can't.
Yeah,
You have to break it up.
that's weird.
Walk the plank bit.
All right, I think the guys are gonna go through and discuss their first turn moves and see what they got. See what they got to say. So, who wants to go first?
I'll talk first.
Tommy.
I have some trickery going on.
I'll give you the talking stick.
The only trickery I got going on is my dasher.
Oh, way over there.
I could have gone further. Right there. But I decided not to con Matt to come in closer to go base to base on the token. It doesn't matter if you go base to base, as long as you survive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you got there. So,
Yeah, 3 units that can shoot you.
his dasher is technically on the objective area token by just a sliver of his base.
I pulled back as much as possible, so the possibility of maybe the Kodiak wouldn't see me.
He is going to have all of these units, though, firing at that dasher right there.
Plus a physical attack.
Plus a physical attack from the
Yes, sir.
Dragonfly, but it is definitely a bold move. And I will tell you that bold moves and overrun or hold the line.
Watch me whiff on it.
I was gonna say sometimes it's that whiff. It is a dasher. It's sprinted. And for those of you wondering, yes, you can sprint and take the token. It is a area of physical sort of you're inhabiting the area that the OAT is in. So
the nice thing is that I am drawing fire away from my other units coming up.
Very true.
Until it dies.
Very true.
That's correct.
So
and then you can start focusing fire on everything else.
All of these guys here are going to basically have what I would assume is a pretty nice shot at the Dragonfly or the Kodiak or the Vulture back there without having to take return fire.
Correct. So everything's going to fire at the Dragonfly that's in the open, which is why I put it there so you can shoot at something that's in the 4. Correct. Which is fine. It's me shooting at something that has a 4 and you shooting at something that's a 4. But you're a big guy shooting at something that's it has 2 pips. That's in your back. I feel that
Well, your dasher is what? It's 30 some points.
that there
22.
is 25.
25 points. So 25 points. He's basically causing Matt to flinch right off the bat.
Slow and steady.
That's the bear way. Slow and steady. So, Matt, what do you got going on?
Slow and steady advancement, protecting my OETs. Using partial cover, partial cover, partial cover, partial cover. And then sticking this lone speed gun on top to draw fire. Matt did have a good plan. He did kind of measure me out to try to drop me into taking the bait on the center of on the top of the OAT. Kind of measured me, see if I could reach to the top of the OAT. I saw that measurement was a good tactic. Some people might have took that bait, or taken that other one closer to his Kodiak. But I wasn't going to take that one. And that's why I also did the sliver and tried to pull a little bit away, maybe try to get some partial cover away from the Kodiak. Terrain placement on my side leaves only 2 or 3 avenues of approach in this area, this area, this area, and on top. And over the hills. So you have to converge. And just to remind everybody, you can't go over these.
Those are impassable terrains.
Impassable terrain, impassable terrain. Just jump.
Yeah, interesting with because I believe your crossbow and your night gyre are pretty good snipers, right?
The night gyre is a sniper. The crossbow moves 12 inches. He's my medium. He's pretty much my linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So he's my move 12 inches. Try to get out there.
So he's trying to get in the medium range.
Yep.
Okay.
His next move would be moving up.
Would you move him out into the clear here? I mean, you're not going to get to cover anywhere unless you're sprinting.
I can sprint.
Okay. So I was going to say I can see your next possible move of the crossbow is to sprint. You're going to take a gun out of the fight, but in the next 2 turns it's going to be right there. I can see where the butcher bird here is, threatened. If say for instance the dasher lives, then all of a sudden Matt's in big trouble with a 20-inch jumper with elementals attached with a dasher. The Griffin 2C,
He's
12 inch or something like that.
He jumps 16 right now.
Okay,
So he has a X-Mech on him.
He jumps 16, so
He has
again,
you
clearly, and this is what I like to talk about is, after the first turn, you can definitely tell who's defense, who's offense. And again, it gets really interesting when you have 2 offensive people go at it, and then you're like, oh, wave at each other while you pass each other in the middle of the field. Yeah, and the thing is but Matt's list is, from just judging it, obviously a Kodiak 2, a Mad Dog, and 2 Dragonflies, it's able to deal out a lot of damage. So you're going to go play on his half of the court, and you're hoping, 1, 2, 3 objective points taken by what, turn 3, turn 4?
Turn 4, I think his Dragonflies and Elder will probably leave the area. And then his Mad Dog and his Kodiak would stay put to guard the back half.
Yeah. So, like I said, if Matt has the dice and pretty much eliminates the Butcher Bird and the Dasher, then all of a sudden then he gets the room to be able to come out and play.
Then I just have to defeat your BA and heavy hitters in the middle.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 BA in the back to guard the outside tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Next turn, I move this guy over top the OAT. I'll leave him where he's at. and the Nightjar staying right over top the OAT behind cover. He's also the one that's a skill 3 and has long range of 4. I believe 4. Yeah, he's a 5.54 with a skill 3. So
One safeguard players have to keep in mind with this scenario is wherever your units lay, make sure you can cut back and cover your OATs if you have to reverse. Yes, this scenario you can get caught in the backfield, and then all of a sudden you're having to turn your units away or the other way. Lots of games where you get somebody back in here or back in here, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, do I turn to face them or do I keep the fight towards the front? So
I know one thing that's kicking me in the butt right now. I wish my Dasher had the BA on, so if he died, the BA would have landed on the token. So,
or soak up damage.
Or soak up
I mean,
damage.
they're meat shields, so.
So that's the one thing that's kicking me right now. Either way, that's the one thing I wish I would have thought ahead of time, but
Sure. Stone, Bobby, any nuggets of insight you want to give into your hold the line preparations?
I think like looking at this is one of those like, man, the terrain is driving me nuts for a few reasons, right? It's great defensive terrain, but it's kind of like almost reminds me of World War One kind of open field of, all right, daring the guy to come out of the trenches to come take the tokens. So open. Because I think I saw you guys measuring like, man, I got to sprint to maybe make terrain. This is going to be interesting. This is almost a stalemate from onset here with the way the terrain's set up. So this is probably one of those where terrain is huge, not only for defensive purposes, but staging to get to an offensive state on the enemy line. So yeah, I like bringing a couple tanks for defensive, like park them on there, or even some cheap defenders are like LMAS infantry from a feedback. But I also like a lot of good TMM 2+ with some good damage that can get across the field, throw some damage, and potentially take a point, right? Could even sprint for high movement. Because again, I just need to land on it, right? Sprinting units can take tokens here, so you got to be careful of some of those high TMM movers, especially in the late eras of, basically keep your line oats covered, because it can get dangerous quick too. So I don't know. That's my 2 bits.
I'm almost wondering what that would have done.
That'd have been huge.
Because he moves 12.
Slow. They're slow. Well, that guy would have freaking 3 rain on them. You can't shoot that.
I mean, I get it, but and the same, yeah. I'm echoing Stone's point too. Is this scares the living bejesus out of me.
Well, it really comes down to who's going to be the one to take the first chance to push across, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna both play. This is set up for both players to play super defensive right now. Hold your side, make the other person have to push across, and yeah, I mean this to me this ends either 1-0 or 0-0.
Yeah. This is both guys going, I dare you to do it, right? And just see who's going to flinch first, right?
Oh, I think they actually want to see if this Dasher would have lived.
Oh, play it out, yeah. Because he's on the token. Did he get there before the Dragonfly got there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I don't. Yeah. He this Dasher has just a little nubbin on the token right there. So that is definitely going to be interesting to see the dice roll.
Is the Kodiak feeding
Here, let's show off.
Oh no, it isn't. I don't know how you can see the attachment. Oh no. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
That-
This is where it would have been interesting to have some battle armor on that dasher for some.
That changes.
Oh, just a
living-
little extra. Yeah, right. A little extra mobile armor. Yep.
Right, and if the dasher died and the battle armor doesn't, they just fall on the token and you still take it.
Well, that's yeah. Yep, yep. We me and Bourbon did that with some capture the flag. Yeah.
Well, there's one.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he's dead.
All right, never mind.
From these two.
I think he shot the Mad Dog and the Dragonfly.
10s or 12s.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 from the Dragonfly. I'm assuming they're all 4s, right?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s.
There's at least possibly 2 hits.
Yeah, it would not have.
It'd be close.
It'd have been really close. Let's just go with that. It'd have been really close.
One more for your other dasher.
Oh,
VA or for
And the physical attack. 4. 8's to hit. If you get this, it automatically would have.
Dead.
Dead. Yep, there was the physical attack from Dragonfly.
Man, killed him twice.
Killed him twice. All right. Well, that would certainly change things, but I'm assuming you moved your dasher there with the 50-50 chance that it was not going to live. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, chat.
Punch in the face.
What do you think? You got time for maybe one more? I know, but it was 12:30.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock when we were left last week. And, hey.
That's because your wife called.
Let's see. Oh, look at Wolfnet's very own Charles Gideon is in the chat. How about that? Way to go. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Colin.
We officially have the lore master in the house.
The lore
tonight.
master is here. I wonder what terrain, if waiting on the super fast units until a few enemy mechs go down would be the way to go to get an OAT. That is a very, very good tactic that I like to use, Corey. Especially, so I really like building my lists to have a little bit of everything, right? I don't really go all in on all damage or all speed or all.
I like your list to have V-tools. So next scenario.
Oh yeah. Well,
Jack, next scenario.
let's see. Next scenario. So we did breakdowns on. Let's see. We did bunkers and domination, overrun, and did you do capture the flag?
Oh shit.
That's always.
I think it's been a while since we see a little CTF. That might not be a bad idea.
That's always an interesting one.
Yeah. Tommy, right away, your list is outfitted just for that. I know. Oh, I knew.
How about a word from our sponsors?
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
let's go.
What? Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Thank you.
Battlefield in a box, sexy tech.
Ooh,
They recently released for your Warhammer 40K, your Gothic eras. They've got some epic scale Gothic buildings from Warhammer that potentially could be used for Battletech. Stuff looks amazing as well too.
Well,
If any of the Hex Tech people are listening, they need to bring out more of the trees because the tree set is about
my
impossible to find.
Every time it comes out, it's sold out right away. I know it's
And it is so beautiful. It's so nice. I've seen it. I don't actually own one, But yeah, they got to make
Yeah.
some more. Get those out into stores because they're incredible.
Yeah, you Hex Tech guys, like my wife, we need a little more wood in our life.
Come on, Wayne, get on that.
Hey,
Everybody,
it's after 11 my time. I can
everybody,
appropriate them.
everybody likes a variety of wood.
That's right. A little sequoia, a little redwood,
A little spruce,
a little spruce.
maybe a good
You
heart.
keep that balsa wood. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Depending
a
on it.
good heart oak. Capture the flag. I know Corey said Headhunter. While they're rolling for terrain, we can talk about Headhunter. Headhunter is, so for those of you who don't know and are just in the chat and listening, Headhunter is each person chooses a mech or vehicle to be their commander. They got to choose two of them, two commanders. And basically, if you destroy that commander, you get one objective point, and that commander will drop a token, a 1-inch token, on the ground. If you are able to overlap that token, similar to Hold the Line that we just played, you will gain another objective point. So, two commanders, you destroy their unit, it is 1 point, and then if you basically capture the token that they dropped, that is another objective point. I usually set up terrain for Headhunter like I do with stand-up fight. I like to go sporadic. I like to cover my what I call zones is my medium zone, my long range zone. But it all depends on who your commanders are. You know, if my commanders are two VTOLs, I'm going to try to put some level 2 towers in the middle of the field, or I'm going to try to create as much cover as I can. Or if they're my annihilator, I'm going to try to put a level 1 hill on my side of the board, and he's pretty much just going to move 4 inches one way, 4 inches the other way. I always like in my list to put what I call the Headhunter killers. Lower skill, fast, do at least 3 damage, 2 damage to 3 damage at medium range. That way I can snipe at them, I can get in the rear. If I can get in the rear of them, that's an extra dice. And they're units that are typically hard to get. So, and then, I usually go with either low profile vehicles or like a Cyclops C that has 12 armor and 8 structure, where it's gonna sit at long range and it's gonna snipe and it's gonna take damage. That's fine, because I think a lot of people forget that if you give your opponent a somewhat decent shot at your commander, they're gonna shoot everything at him. Or, there's a good chance that they're gonna try to take him down, which allows you, the rest of your squad or your unit to, gain an extra turn of residual damage on everything else. I always like to do, whittle down their force to the point where they can't do enough damage to my commander in the end. And then if it drops the token, hopefully it drops the token on my side of the board that I have protected. So. But anyway, this is Capture the Flag. As you guys have noticed, there are 3 3-inch OATs located in the center of the board, and then 6 inches off of the edge of the board on either side and middle. These are treated sort of the same way with domination. If they are contested, you cannot pick up the flag. So each one will have a flag. You need to be uncontested, grounded, dismounted in order to pick up the flag. You have to survive in the end turn. You cannot sprint and pick up a flag. You can pick up a flag and then sprint later, but you cannot drop the flag in your home base, which is here and over there. Battle armor can pick up a flag, mount on a vehicle or a Omni, run, but they can't dismount because you can't dismount and mount in the same turn, or vice versa. So it's kind of up to you on how you want to play that. A mech can carry a flag and can carry battle armor. That is carrying a flag. That is I think the #1 question I get asked all the time. If they both die, both flags drop where they are. The one other thing is if you do make it back to your home base with a flag and you are destroyed, that flag will drop and will get scored in the end turn. So that is also another one that, if you die and you're carrying a flag, does it count? Well, yes, because the flag does drop in the end phase, and it is in your home base. Now, one of the tricky questions is, the enemy can contest your home base. You cannot drop a flag in a contested home zone or a home OAT. So if you want to make life miserable for your opponent, and you've got some fast units, you can try to harass this home zone, and they can't score any points as long as that unit is still around. I think I've covered the basics. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that everyone does need to read the rule book, just like Ryan Hansen read the rule book on page 19, which will be discussed in our next rules meeting on what exactly we thought we meant there.
So, Coach, you talked about you can't deposit a flag if it's contested. Looking at the ruling, since we're kind of going into our edit rules mode, right, with some rules clarity, it says in order to pick up a flag on a unit, it has to be grounded, dismounted, and uncontested. But for deposit, it doesn't make specific mention of non-contested. Oh, no, yeah, flag token in a team base that is uncontested. Sorry, I missed it. Never mind.
I was going to say, damn you, Stone.
Shut the hell up.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I put that one in there.
Oh, damn it. Yep, never mind. I am not perfect. My wife will tell you that.
When it comes to not being able to deposit your flag on a contested home base, I gotta let Uncle Mark know that I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I did that.
Might have done that.
Did that to him at Adepticon. You get a jump strong unit and go put it on their base and just hop around so they can never score. It's
awesome.
It's a fun way to win, but it's really flexing rule number 2. You're definitely testing the tension of it.
Yeah, it's so wrong. It's right, but wrong still. Yeah. I guess that brings up a great question we got in chat: is how do you deal with those jump strong units, especially you see more of them in the later eras, right? The Wolfens, the Super Spider, the guys that are getting +5, the Iron Sparrow, the Butcher Bird. What's a great tactic to help deal that and curb that? Turn 1 I got the flag, and turn 2 I'm scoring again already. What do you do there?
In a perfect world, you're going to try to get into short range with them, and also potentially have something with a lower skill that you could shoot them with. But you look at the setup here. You're going to have some firing lanes that you're going to have to take advantage of. You're going to want to mirror where they go. So if they take the middle one or one of the outside ones, you have some shooting lanes to try to be able to stop them. Because you can you can grab 2 flags and have them back in 2 turns and win this in 4 turns if you have the right units.
Yeah.
I mean, dashers, those type of things are super valuable in this scenario because it's 1 turn there, 1 turn back, and they can grab any one of the 3 at any time. So you got to find something that can take them out, something that can do some quick damage or throw a lot of dice at them, hoping you can hit them.
Yeah, one of my favorites has been we removed onboard artillery, but offboard artillery, right? Because I know right where they're going. It removes the TMM for them, and generally, if I take the 9-point artillery, I can take a dasher out, right? Because I'm dropping 2 points in that 2-inch circle. So, but even the 1 point's good. Like, hey, if I throw enough concentrated fire at it, maybe I get 1 point on the dasher. I can use the artillery to clean them up. Yeah, stuff like that. The TMM does make things tough, but off-board artillery, those little tokens they're affordable and make great use stuff for, especially like King of the Hill, Domination, stuff where I know units are going to be at. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I've kind of compensated a little bit for some of those fast and crazy units. Because generally don't have a ton of armor, right? They give up that, they add fragility for that mobility.
No terrain in the deployment area. Can you put terrain in the home base? Oh, yes. No, you cannot. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but that is a rule that we had to come up with. Is it Sam?
Sam.
Was that the Sam rule?
Sam rule, annihilator.
Yeah. So in the early renditions, you were able to put terrain in your the 2-inch deployment zone, and I believe it was at LVO that young tactician Sam would place a building. Oh, Phil, sorry. No, Phil was I thought Phil was the Headhunter rule. He was the one who would make his infantry, his field medic, the commander, and then he would barricade hills in the corner. It was probably a combination of the two. Anyway, I just remember that there would be little silos that were like 2 inches tall or 3 inches tall, and he would place it in his deployment zone, and then he would put a Godzilla or an Annihilator right on top of the building that the mech could not scale. Like, it was 3 inches tall. He couldn't scale it, but because it was in the deployment zone, he was able to deploy it on top of the building, and then he just never moved, but he could see everything. So yeah, and then Phil would crater his field medic in the corner, and it was just impossible to get to him. So yes, that is the reason there is no terrain in the deployment zone. So. You're talking about stuff. Well, Charles, it's not like it's anything different than normal. Another thing in Capture the Flag is that you are able to pass the flag between friendly units. It is during the end phase, I believe, step 3. But you are able to pass the flag off to a friendly unit. I have never really seen a successful pass, I don't think, but it is possible. I'm now starting to wonder if, I don't know, it's in there, but I don't think I've actually seen it successfully done. Passing the flag.
Only one VAR left alone trying to run it back to the. I've only seen dead passing.
Oh, like when it drops and you.
We've seen it where vehicles disabled. That's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, vehicles gotten it and it was disabled. That's right. Okay. Capture the flag. So terrain-wise, this is kind of a typical terrain, you're going to try to block line of sight to the center.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 units.
Um,
First one
I like how they put these OATs on an elevated hill, especially with Matt bringing TERS, I believe. Tiers. Elevator. It's not gonna really stop them from getting up. Well, yeah, it might.
Not the center one.
Not the center one, the two sides. But yeah, it's not bad. I think his Turkey on the side has, I think, what he wants to do. This little hill right in front of him. It's definitely going to give him his cover. He's going to be able to see the center, the left, and the right. Can you even see the home base? Can you see the home base for your TT? That's home base.
Yes.
Oh, look at there. So he's got all the.
Unless I take it on the left side.
Unless you hide behind that little driftwood there, but.
Can we go off? I have one more movement to go.
What do you guys think? Terrain placement.
I'm more worried about
Did we lose the boys?
No, we're here. I didn't know if
they're
you were
still
chatting
there.
to the table for
Oh,
train.
I'm always talking to you guys. I talk to these guys all the time.
Oh. No, I like it. That especially what they done with the center out. It's kind of like a countered shield. And the raised terrain on the edges makes it a little more difficult for things to get there, but then also easier to defend because they're a little more pronounced to shoot at. Right, you're not hiding behind anything. This terrain placement feels about as even as you're gonna get. Because all the flags are just as difficult for either player to get to, in my mind. Tommy's got a little more of a safer return avenue with some of the covered terrain for his home base. So it is a little bit easier to get shots, maybe potentially on Matt bringing flags back. But you got some good breakup, right? That one terrain piece that sits between the center flag and his home base is very much a big blocking piece. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like it. It feels fair.
Tommy backed up his dasher to the edge, which was very smart because he took away the option for me to get behind him right away. This piece here, I did not put.
You did not put that there?
I didn't put that one, that one, that
Oh,
one, that one.
okay.
I put pretty much all of
I
that.
feel like this is going to help Tommy out because he's got mostly jumpers. For me, I hate that place because I usually don't take a lot of jump units.
I placed this one, that one.
So your deal was to get everything out of the way. Basically. You wanted to cover the center and then just move everything out of the way.
Move everything that he could use to block my line of sight.
Sure.
And try to get everything in line in front of his line of sight.
Okay. So what is your tactic now that you realize you don't have the speed to get to certain locations? Do you then go, I gotta pick something to burn down?
Here's the multiple.
Well,
here's the multiple ideas that you could do is that if Tommy has more speed than I do, which he absolutely does, you either let him take that one and you focus on the other two. You let him take that one of 3 and you focus on the other 2 of 3. Or you try and burn him down on the objective before you can grab it. The biggest problems you have are, do you try to sprint to get there? No, because you're going to get
thwacked. You're going to get hit, and you're not going to be able to do any actions to pick up the flag. So if you focus on the other two to get to and forget that third, let him have it.
You're going to get thwacked at the outside one.
Or you traverse and lay wait to ambush him as it leaves.
That's a good option. You try that. I have movers to get all three.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why I'm at a serious disadvantage with this scenario, with this speed.
This is the only scenario that I have. I have a good advantage.
So it does not do me any good to sprint.
Correct. This is absolutely, you're 100% correct on that one. Sprinting is not a good option right now. You need all the firepower you can get right now. And that's why I was trying to put as much terrain in your way to fire at me. That was my whole thing. I was like, I need to find ways to get terrain in your way to fire at me.
I would agree with that assessment. I think if you can't get there, put yourself in the position to put as much firepower in your turn one objective grabbers to at least slow down your progress.
Yeah. Yep.
All I can do is face off with him while he's on the objective and try and shoot him down.
Right.
And then he has to adjust with a different mover. But he's still got more bigger distance jumpers in reserve, too, yet.
I was going to say, I think that, like Tommy said, this is his.
Oh, yeah.
This is mine.
This is his domain.
We're in.
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing to cater towards a couple of scenarios.
Oh, right.
I've talked to a lot of players, and they go, I'm either punting on King of the Hill or Span of Fight or one of these, but Domination, Capture the Flag, and Overrun, I'm very comfortable with those, especially how their lists are made. What do you guys, Bovey and Stone, what do you guys think of that assessment?
Yeah, when I build a list, I try to tell people, like I know I'm probably only going to have a list that's good for usually 5 out of 8. There's always going to be a couple scenarios I'm probably going to struggle with based on how heavy or how I constructed it, right? You're never going to have a list that's going to do all 8 scenarios like a champ. And I think that's what some new players struggle with, right? They're building them like, oh, but this is going to suck for that. I'm like, well, you're going to have to accept that, right? There's going to be scenarios that you're not going to be optimized for. And that's a little bit of the gamble. And that's where I like the randomness of it is you're going to build knowing that you may not have optimal, even with the sideboard, for something that may come up or may not come up, right? It's a little bit of that, a little bit of a Vegas feel to it. So I don't know, Tom, yeah, go ahead, come over top.
Well, I play clans, so we're optimized for everything.
You're not optimized for absorbing damage, though.
So I want to address something real quick. This dragonfly came up to the hill here, and you'll notice his battle armor is there. Well, technically, he dropped his battle armor down here, and because it's an Omni and he's mechanized, he is able to use jump movement, half of his movement up the hill, so he's allowed to do that. I believe.
If it's ground movement, no.
That is correct. He can jump after he releases from an Omni.
Yes. I mean, even technically, if he had enough movement points, he could go up the hill, but you cannot deploy or you cannot dismount or deploy battle armor or infantry a level higher just because they have to be deployed on the same level as the transport unit. Then after that, then they're allowed to use whatever movement points they're allowed. Yes, Charles is very correct. The new BA disembark rules make TMM3 Omnis awesome. Especially with the non-infantry cover rules. Because your TMM3 Omnis do have some armor. So.
Yeah, dragonflies. You know, and I think
fucking
we
hate
just don't
'em.
see enough of it. Great. Yeah, they're
But you guys
great
are
and
lucky.
horrible depending on if you got them. Yeah.
I see dragonflies in my sleep. Because I play against them all the time.
Yeah. Well, they got 4 armor, 2 structures, so I mean, yeah, a little less TMM than a dasher, but more damage and just pains.
They're touching. No, they're touching.
Also, for those of you at home who have downloaded the Alpha Strike 350 rulebook, at the end you'll notice that we do have all the OATs that you can print off and cut out. When cutting them out and during a game, if there is white on the outside because you can't cut very well, that is not a part of the OAT. The OAT starts with the colored part. We've had some questions on that. Like, well, the OAT is red. I'm like, yeah, well, the OAT is measured precisely to the circle that is colored, not the extra trimmings that you couldn't get exact on the outside. So. Let's see. So Dragfly just walked up the hill and is at medium range, but could have jumped for better defense, but would be at a closer range, so it would be its to hit would be the same. Correct. Because it is taking cover and is still at a 4 to hit. This Dragonfly right over here. It could have jumped and bet at a 4, and then a 5 with the partial cover, but it would.
I need to shoot.
He needs to shoot, so.
I need to.
He might be referring to the dragonfly on the nearer side to the camera.
Oh, I see. Yes, I believe he did not jump with that one because he does need the best possible outcome of fire solution that he can get.
Yeah, he might not have been able to get short range regardless, so he's going with the better shot at medium.
I see.
Maybe.
Sure. What is that Dragonfly? 16-inch jump?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been able to get into short range. So. If he jumped. No. Just outside. Oh, who doesn't love a good armchair quarterback? That's what I do every Sunday. Except for Jordan Love, he can do no wrong. I take that back. He's looking more like Brett Favre every freaking day. Oh my.
Did you win?
Yep, one with better shots. So we got Turkina and a Dasher to move in.
Can my Turkina see his here? Right there.
Which one? That one over there? Ooh. No. No. Let's see how. If he would have moved up, he probably could have.
Or if I don't move.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I'd change my ruling. You're like, oh, he would have went. Go here.
Or if I don't move on.
All right. You're getting ready to roll a fistful of dice, huh?
I think you measured wrong. He'll take away 2 inches, so that you 2 more inches, and it will be short. Oh, I see what you're saying. Measured wrong. He's saying if you jump, you get the full 16 inches. Measured wrong. Did you count the 2 inches going up the hill when you walk? So.
Kind of 18.
So 18.
From the line.
Minus 2. But if you would jump 16, would you be in short range? That's the question.
Oh, yeah. I guess you'd be right.
You would have been the same shot, is what he's saying. Because you take the -2 away from medium range, but you add the 2 for jumping, you're gonna have the same firings.
Look, right now, if he is in this position, he doesn't get fired from my dasher.
Oh.
If he's back there, but if he's up ahead 2 more inches, he's going to get fired from my dasher.
So he's running the dasher H.
I'm running the dasher H and P.
Okay, so he's running the dasher H, which does 5 damage at short range, but 0 damage at medium.
So he did the right
So he was very wise.
and staying back.
Staying in medium range. I was just questioning Corey.
Never doubt the bloodbath.
Yeah,
Never doubt the bloodbath.
Oh, they can't see the charges.
Oh, you can doubt me.
Uh-huh.
You can always doubt me. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, you should fill up those 2 more inches.
Yep. No, I think he did exactly the right move there because that dash is dangerous at short range.
You can always doubt me, but you can't read me.
I gotta say thanks to the Iowa Crickets for doing the speed run through scenarios. I think it's a good way to discuss the format with viewers. Oh, thanks, Charles Gideon. The Iowa Crickets, that's what he calls us. Because we don't talk at all until it's like Thursday afternoon, and everyone's like, what are we doing for Thursday night speaking of Charles Gideon, we're having a new episode of the Wolfnet Radio podcast dropping tomorrow, featuring Joshua Franklin. Good interview. Clarified a lot of stuff. A little preview. We go over the match play rules that they put out.
I'm glad we're not playing
And how that is going to basically
just roll this one out.
You want to roll this one out?
Yeah.
Hey, it's the last one. We're not doing another one. We can roll this one out.
Yeah.
Let's roll it
I
out.
just want to roll this
Chat, should we roll it out? Let's see. We'll leave it up to chat. We can either end it now, or they can roll this one out. I gotta add some.
And you can see what dies and what stays. Matt says he's already going to lose. That's fine. Your dasher was going to get hit in the back.
So what do you think?
No, because you can't make the angle.
I can go either way. I love leaving people in suspense sometimes.
Corey's like, nah, end it.
From this guy?
Only because they want to roll.
I'm with Goober. Like, once I started rolling, I would want to keep playing if I was them. So
Yeah, I just let it
It's gonna
go.
be hard to cut it if you start rolling.
The next
Yeah.
line goes there.
Yeah, well, I guess somebody's got to set the tone. So
you don't get the plus 2d6.
let's give those who waited this long and watched this. Let's roll some dice. We haven't rolled dice today, so let's roll some dice.
Just do one zone.
Just do one zone.
I still get to roll 3d6.
You get one shot each. Just your
That's it.
favorite back.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Then I gotta figure out which camera angle is gonna be the best one then. And then we're gonna set up the dice cam. Let's do that.
Coach, give him the judge call.
Oh,
Is he in the rear of that dasher?
Is he in the rear of that dash? No.
Do I still see the dash? Yeah, you can see it.
Okay.
You got unobstructed line of sight.
All right.
But you don't get.
Bear with me here, folks. I gotta got this ice cam here. Oh. Come on now.
Oh, come on.
Well, they all want to see the rolls.
You barely can see the rolls with that.
You can't see how they roll. I want to try out my new arms.
You got new arms.
And that there, ladies and gentlemen, that's an elbow joint.
Big as you are. You gotta coil it up.
Move your cameras, coach.
Oh, this thing doesn't move like I thought it would.
So I've been watching YouTube. You need
We've
The roving camera brought to you
Yeah.
by maybe a slightly tipsy coach.
This is the Iowa Blair Witch experiment portion of the show.
just in time for Halloween next month. And shotgun mics and all that shit.
Yeah. Do you know what our budget is? All right. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly, everybody, but we're gonna do this. And
No,
then,
it's a great product.
oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do this, and then
Tommy turkey and white.
this, and we gotta shrink that. Oh, god dang it! Come on now, just don't you roll yet.
Do it. Do it.
I think next week I will have the,
Let's see. There's nobody up here, so
I'll have the,
Finish him.
I'll have the next. I'll have the real one done.
all right. We need poker chips. I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah.
I got my rip machine. I ended up going out and buying.
All right, we're rolling.
You're out.
All right, we're gonna go from battle armor to dasher.
Stormbird.
There's a dasher roll. That's your butcher bird.
No, my Stormbird.
Oh, it's Stormbird battle armor to a dasher right here. He's hiding. Let's see. So I got all the cameras on here? I do. Oh, there we go. Well, you can't really see him there either, but that's the best you're gonna get. All right, let's see how this capture the flag
5, 6.
works out.
I need tans. That's the only
Tans to
camera
hit.
you
Who
get.
needs tans?
That's the only camera you get for free.
It looks like no tans.
No tans.
What?
No tans are over 9. I know. Let's see.
Do it again.
Amazing commentary. Amazing chat. Everybody's amazing. Oh, motion sickness, yeah.
Picture Grammy.
Sorry about that.
4, 5, 6.
Wouldn't be a Wolfnet Thursday Night Throwdown without a little Blair Witch action going on.
6 is 2-year elemental.
Yeah, it's about that time of year, too. Coming up on
I know. I'm excited.
All Hallows.
All Hallows Eve.
4.
All right, we're gonna butcher bird to some battle armor. Infantry.
Why does
Infantry.
Jeff talk so much? Motherfucker.
Do it.
Ori.
We don't pay him for his looks.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, he's
I'd have to pay them.
Bobby, you haven't been here in a while.
How much armor left? Oh, no, it's in the.
Wait, he's getting paid?
It's like from Caddyshack, you know. I don't get any money, but on my tombstone I have was it what does he say, the eternal consciousness.
You will receive total enlightenment.
Totally. So I got that going for me.
I never realized it, but you are Bill Murray incarnate, aren't you?
I got 3 armor inscription.
This has been the most anticlimactic shooting phase that people asked for.
Yeah.
I was just
Hey
gonna
guys,
say.
let's have a shooting phase. Nothing get hit. Nothing's dying. Oh, this is great. Great use of time.
It's a shooting phase where like 10 is the lowest to hit number.
And 3 damage to the jumping. Still looking strong.
It is a sexy looking dice tray, isn't it? You should wait till Tommy next week.
Uh-oh.
He's working on something
You
special.
got working on some new shiny.
Just a reminder, everyone, that the beginning of November is coming up, and there's a certain children's drive that Wolfnet Radio prides itself on doing. So
It's for the kids.
Get your American Express out. Get your PayPal fired up.
Hey, there you go. There's some good dice rolls.
Oh, hey now, Valhalla dice.
What are you shooting at?
Won't see Wolfnet dice do that shit.
He just takes it away from the game.
He just takes the tray away. That's enough of that. That's enough. We're done. We're done.
Screw the audience.
The heavy jump infantry finally got
That
destroyed
is-
after 3 rotations.
That's a rough die roll there. Oh, nothing but.
I just want you to focus on my jump infantry the whole time.
I've thought about doing a 24-hour for the kids event.
That'd be nice.
Which day?
The day of the thing.
Is it Saturday?
I don't know.
What day is it?
Well, I would do it. You guys can jump on.
Tommy, what day is it?
but also 24 hours.
Mikey's doing one.
Is he doing?
Yeah, are you on the fucking Valhalla Discord channel?
What's the date?
I'm on like 15 Discord channels, but everything's muted to only at me.
Yeah, he's doing one with MechWarrior 5.
Oh,
He's doing a co-op deal for a 24-hour co-op deal.
well, sweet. So,
Extralife.org.
so during my telethon, I can sneak in and pop on his Twitch channel, and
As long as he says he's only playing with guys that he's
I'm not gonna play it. We're just gonna watch him
The
play.
second is a Saturday.
yes.
So you do it 24 hours.
Because apparently that's what you do on YouTube is you watch other people play games and you comment on them.
24 hours.
What time do you want to start?
I don't know.
Good.
Maybe not 24.
I can
Maybe
take
like
all
12.
my hockey.
All right,
Or in
Asher,
Corey's
you
case, you
do
comment
little
on
shit
people
that's on the-
commentating on other people playing games.
There you go.
Yeah.
the green.
You guys on firing yet? This is the slowest firing phase I've ever seen.
That's because we're talking.
He's only killed.
You need a you need a fucking abacus to add up these 2 hit numbers. Let's get this shit moving.
What about that one?
I'm about to fire.
They're going to use 3 attack dice next round, so they might actually hit something.
Oh my goodness. I know.
There is not a next round.
No. There's a hang up. We're ending this shit next round. That's what it's saying.
4. Well, this is what you get for free.
Yeah,
5.
that's true. It is free.
Is that BA too?
Those?
Yeah.
Those are gnomes.
So it's BA, so it jumped and it's BA. 4, 5, 6.
Only it's female.
Oh,
Coach has not seen
That is-
Kaz do a firing round.
dude, coach, honestly, we could make a show. We'd only get 1 round in, if we brought Kaz in. God love him, that boy.
Is that the one instance where I break my rule where I don't count the 2 hits for the other person and I'm just like, you need to roll 10, you need to roll
Cracks me
5.
up. That's what he gets for not being on here. We can make fun of his slow play.
I generally do not do that for people, or I try not to do that for people, but there's sometimes it's like, it's a 7. You need to roll 7.
It's like, how much? 2 damage to your nose.
Well, that's it?
I know, that's it.
That's the armor.
Does that make me a commentator cube?
So how would you be cubed? That would mean you would have to be playing with Mike on MechWarrior Clans, and then also commentating on my video, watching Mike play MechWarrior Clans. So that would be the cube, yes. That's commentator inception, correct.
4.
Slow would be an improvement.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
god.
Ouch. That's called a shiv. Man, that is a.
That is getting
2 more damage.
back shanked in the frickin' prison yard right there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Alright, so I'm just gonna kill your mechs, so your BA half the screen running.
Yeah, Corey, we're gonna hear about this on Tuesday at the shop. Kaz is gonna be like, "You motherfuckers," but he's gonna say it really slow, like his play. You mother.
Was Cass stand for kinetically abused or?
Oh.
That's evil.
Does the absence
Corey,
of,
you gotta make sure he listens to this shit. Tell your brother to listen in.
the absence of forward movement?
Oh, I should have stood still.
Kinetically absolute zero. Oh, there we go.
C1. C2.
Look at that cider dice hitting.
Oh yeah.
3. 3 damage.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
I call those the ectoplasm. Plasm dice.
Water guys.
Casper Pacey Ghost.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm kind of enjoying the somebody else being made fun of online other than me.
Yeah, this is going great.
2 damage.
Slow would be an improvement.
Alright, I got one more.
Jeez.
Fire.
Oh my god. You guys done yet?
Almost.
Holy shit. Yeah, wake me up when this turns over.
I think chat was right. I think we should have ended it.
Should have just dropped. Somebody change the password on the Wi-Fi. Get this shit over with.
Oh, we don't even get to see the full handful of dice either. Because I bet if he moved here, he'd be in medium range.
We'd have been better off just having them slingshot the dice at the table from 5 feet away and see what they hit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Like a flick'em game.
It's long range, bro.
You do 4, right? 3.
Oh shit. Gideon, that's awesome.
Most people.
Dude, he lists before Kaz is planning his death. Oh my god.
Most people start making lists months before big events. Kaz is planning his dice rolling.
Oh shit.
You got Kaz.
Oh.
Don't be a Kaz.
Oh my goodness. That poor kid.
Oh, that's funny.
I was saying, wow, this is their.
You guys are a lot of ones.
Okay, because they can take 8.
Man.
I think I got.
Oh, we gotta go ahead.
Just went to commercial. Fuck it.
I think I got one too. We should 3 armor. But you can roll a motive. Look at that crap. Motive?
Arcor industry.
Just do this.
Is it? Yeah, that's it, guys. Sorry, time expired. Cut to commercial.
I deserve that.
We just need Andrew to just give us a quick woof.
Oh yeah, Andrew to hop in and just hijack the whole thing like he usually does.
There you go.
Oh man.
That's good stuff. I like walking through these. I think this is where we get a lot, probably some of the most interaction, is a lot of these kind of quote unquote educational runs. Yeah, I like it.
Unfortunately, they're not like to the production value that I would like, but I think it's still fun to organically work your way through it. You know, I can sit here and do all the pre-production and everything in the world, but what is going on with that? Oh, But it's just nice that, one, you have the chat involved. Two, like Ryan Hansen brought up a rule that we wrote for a reason. Ooh, Charles is in here. He might be able to. I don't think he was here for the Ryan Hansen question. Charles, if you could, go ahead and turn to page 19 in the Alpha Strike 350 2.3 rulebook. And could you enlighten us on let's see, I should probably get him to line.
I want 350 reform.
350 is coming, calm down. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11-ish down the page. It is objective area templates may only be stacked on a level 2 hill, no higher. That question was brought up and honestly kind of stumped me because I have no idea why to set the table. They had built a level 3 hill, not straight up, but like it was a staircase, and they had the hold the line template on the top. And Ryan brought up, is like, you can't stack OATs higher than a level 2 hill, and kind of made me kind of pause there. We kind of understand it where it would be extremely detrimental to vehicles trying to get up the hill. But at the same time, why? These rules were written a year and a half ago, maybe more than that. Yeah, if that was a holdover from one, hell, that was 4 years ago. So just, we have the lore master in the chat, so we might as well ask him. It's going to be a topic brought up at the 3.0 get together. I know I've said this before, but Epic will be released as a beta play test beginning of next week. I think that predates the staircase rules and was the original attempt to make sure units could get to the OT. And we just left it in there? I mean, you're kind of our proofreader, so that. There we go. There you go, Stone. Bovey, we can blame it on Charles. It's all his fault. Way to go, Charles.
You did show up of your own volition, so.
He's like, I'm out.
And with that, we just lost him.
Can I put a middle finger in the YouTube chat? Probably.
No, but we know it's there. We know it's there.
3 hours of searching for a scapegoat. Now we have one.
Yeah, we got one.
We got him, boys. We got him. Ooh, something died.
They're still rolling dice.
Oh, man. The Butcher Bird and Tommy's Butcher Bird and his Dasher died. Yes, they're still rolling dice. So, this probably would not bode very well for Tommy after this turn.
Just shot possible.
I'm gonna go with no. Hold on. No. I can barely see your front leg.
Oh, we're getting judge calls
Text to X.
at this point? The
Oh, it's
fuck?
not X to X. It's.
Oh, shit.
You have half of the X.
Yeah. When in doubt, Johnson that bitch.
Coach likes to touch his own Johnson. Actually, I think Coach is touching bloodbaths to Johnson.
I've touched his Johnson all the time. Yeah.
Partial?
But it is partial. Because you can only You're literally half covered. So
Partial for me to shoot out.
partial for
On
you
that-
to shoot out because it is in the rule book where if it's partial one way, it's partial the other way. So.
I don't know.
Well, no, that's not true.
That's not true.
Hold on. I got a freaking camera in my hand. Like,
Move the camera. We don't need a roll.
Go ahead, Bovey. You were gonna say something.
I was going to say, on that note, I'm going to take the time to call it a night on my end.
All right.
So
Yeah, this is
it's devolving and
exactly
We just-
stage left, man. Stage left. Get out of town.
yeah, you can see it.
4, 5, 6, 10.
Coach Corey made the comment, since we're on the Kaz train, he goes, I think Kaz's opponents have passed away waiting for his turns to end. Oh my God. Whoa.
What's the Indiana Jones gif where the guy drinks from the wrong cup and it's just like he just gets older and older. Playing
Oh
Kaz,
shit.
waiting for Kaz to be done dice rolling. It's just,
Oh shit. I think we might see some retaliatory commentary next week. I'm just saying.
hey, he's always invited on the show. He just never wants to show up.
It takes him so long to log in. The show's over by the time he gets here.
Leave no Kaz behind.
We almost do have to get. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, maybe I'll razz him into trying to be on next week.
I'm playing Protos. Just tell him I'm playing Protos.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll have him. We need somebody to explain Protos to the masses.
Bring out the train.
I wonder if I have enough Protos.
I got like one or two.
Oh, Matt's got a bunch of them.
I
All
got
right,
snow-
there we go.
There we go. There we go.
All right, you guys done rolling dice? All right. You
This is left.
you able to okay.
We got a little battle. We're picking up a flag. Is what we got. One.
Woo!
Well, some stuff died.
Yep, that's a big shoot.
Yeah, I see that.
I think I'm gonna go with probably
No,
Tommy lost that
easily.
that round.
You still got BA on these two, which they grab it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna help him a whole lot.
It's going to be a hard charge now. If these guys X-Mech to that guy, then it's possible.
I don't think that's gonna help him a whole lot.
Well, Tommy's got 2 on objectives right now. They'll get flags.
They will pick up the
I don't
flags.
have any, so this
That-
is still teeter top.
That is true, but at the same time, battle armor have the flags, and unless you
they go nowhere fast.
unless you can transport them away,
Oh, I'll transport.
they don't really. Let's just pro tip this: battle armor aren't a great way to carry battle or flags unless they can immediately mount up into a transport and get the hell out of there.
So let's take it. So Tommy lost. Let's take this on 3 mechs and a BA. I lost 2, a BA and an infantry.
Yeah.
So
that-
they're going to get this.
But Tommy's his rolls weren't so great.
So
Mm.
they're going to come down to here, right? And these guys, those elementals, are going to move 6 jump. Luckily, they both move 6. These guys move 1. These guys jump.
And then I chased
Right,
him
but
down, keep
I
the shoots down.
guess what I'm coming down to is you are down 2 20+ inch movers in a
Yes,
game
sir.
that
Now, 3.
3.
Now let's take a look at where these two are sitting, or possibly where this one might be.
I gotta step into the lion's den to chase him down.
So these guys actually can probably go right here.
Yeah, I'd hop them over, not around. Yeah, right.
Now, to get firing arcs, you're stepping in line in medium range of the Turkina.
Sure.
So,
Unless I use my vehicles with low profile to hide and shoot.
so where are you going to move to get in range of both of these flags?
I was going to say, he's got low profile. He's going to be able to move his turs. Right, but then all of a sudden, this dasher moves here, and you ain't going to be able to jump. Well, then okay. So then now all of a sudden he's here, and I mean, he's bottlenecked 2 flags.
I'm still fucked, right? Fucked.
I think
had a bad round.
it's going to be a hard fight for you to get the 2 flags there. I think you can get 1. I think you'll get 1 flag in.
I'm thinking that.
What the hell are you doing putting that over there? You put that right there.
Why? There's no flag there.
They'll come back when they die.
I'm pretty sure your dasher can make it from there over there real easy.
And then
I'm not going to cover the base because I'll get slaughtered.
There we go.
And he'll still get there, die, and drop the flag.
Not if it's contested.
now that guy,
It'll make it there.
Remember, it's got to be uncontested. He could score no flags as long as you keep his Turkina busy, and your dasher and your Turs and everybody else is just kind of like, well, that's great. You got 2 flags, but you're not going to score anything. And then all of a sudden it turns into a. See, I think you're
This
playing.
game
You're
is a
playing
draw.
too defensive right there.
Sure.
Mm.
Either way.
He's giving you
free range to take out. Back and forth as many times as you want.
Throw this fast. Why use the short?
Well, I'm just saying that a contested home base sucks for somebody who just lost all their fast movers.
Not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
so. All right, chat. I think that is going to be our last.
can't wait to use this with almost every single
Our last
Your die roll.
scenario go around.
I
If you got any questions, I think we're good for. Oh my God, it's a minute already. I think we're gonna maybe close it out. Any last couple of questions or anything? Commentators, chat, anything? Let us know if you guys like this. If you want us to do more of this, I think we have a stand-up fight, which is it still deserves a scenario run through because there are some nuances to stand-up fight. What else do we have left? Headhunter. We'll go further into Headhunter and then.
Yep.
Domination
we didn't do.
Well, we did Domination the first couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
King of the Hill. So we'll do.
Yeah, there you go.
Next week, I think we'll actually play a game because I want to get those protos. You kind of got me on the proto train. So
Yeah.
maybe the week after that we'll do King of the Hill, stand-up fight, and Headhunter.
Headhunter. Yeah.
That's
I think that'd be great.
not a bad lineup because those kind of
No.
you those are scenarios I consider building kind of the same list. They follow the same little bit of theme.
We've had a few people that they struggle with trying to differentiate Headhunter and stand-up fight, which they thematically feel the same, but strategically very different.
Totally different. Yeah,
so I think they're good to run in unison there, where guys already see the difference, and I think that may enlighten a few people. Yeah.
I think that would be a good episode to go through the difference between stand-up fight. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone had fun tonight. I had a good time. I think this is. You know, we did the first set, and I was like, oh, we should do more of these. And then you were like, we should do a Q&A, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, we should do a Q&A. So, I mean, maybe Kaz can join and enlighten us on some of the finer points of getting the dice perfectly, weighted in your hand before doing this.
Oh, that poor kid.
Let's see. Hold down the photo. Hold down the photos. Protos. Gotcha. Can you hold down Protomechs?
You hold down anything, technically.
Oh, you can. Interesting.
Hold down what? Photos. Oh.
You know what would be very interesting?
I thought you were talking about
If Charles Gideon would hop on one night and enlighten all of us. That would be kind of interesting. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Let's see. Night, thanks for streaming. Hey, thank you, Corey. Thank the other Corey. I want to thank Otto for also joining the chat. I don't want to miss anybody here. Charles Gideon, always. That looks like pretty much everyone that was in chat. So. Hey, everybody, enjoy the heck out of Mercenaries or MechWarrior Clans. I believe that's coming out tonight. Enjoy the 12-hour download. And yeah, just call off work tomorrow. It's Friday. Screw it. You have been called out. That's correct. Yeah, if you guys can, join the Facebook, the Discord, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you are able, in these turbulent times, go ahead and check out the Patreon, because apparently my audio isn't, or my setup is not good enough. Ooh, that's another one. I was gonna do the whole how I have my setup thing, so we can inspire future Alpha Strike YouTube content creators. So look forward to that one, and hopefully you won't have to see my old ass Peter here in the future. We're gonna try to spruce the place up a little bit. So. Other than that, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you are able to roll your dice in a opportune time, and don't be Cass. Just don't do it. So, other than that, on behalf of my wonderful commentators, Tom Bovey finally made it to the show. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great night.
Who the fuck is Tom?
He had to go night. He said
he dipped. Well, fuck that guy then. Yeah. thank you, Jeff Stone, for being the Rock.
That's right. I will be the bastion upon where satisfaction falls, and just other stupid shit I say.
I'm not gonna tell you, but I have a little treat for next week that I'm gonna do for you if you're commentating next week. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. You'll like it.
Awesome.
You alluded to it tonight, and I just now caught on that I should do something to initiate the announcement of this certain point of time during your commentating timeline. So,
a milestone, as it were.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. It's almost gonna be an ad. It's gonna be an ad. Is basically what it is. Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you next Thursday.
All right. Stay frosty,
with
everybody.
Protomechs. I really need to fix this one. To count backwards. No, it counts backwards.
Yeah, it went down to 0. Yep.
I need to.
Yeah.
I need to do a new ending. I need to. I'll get on that too. It'll just be.
We all aged to death waiting for Kaz to count down.
But it'll be scrolling the letters. Good night, everybody. All right. And stream. End it.